This initiative was founded because the next breakthroughs in energy will not happen in Congress, Parliament, or state legislatures, but from visionary entrepreneurs, innovators, and corporate leaders. The real progress will occur in the business offices, in the laboratories, the manufacturing hubs, where risks are taken, investments are made, and game-changing technologies are scaled. Energy is the cornerstone of modern progress. It drives industrialization, innovation, and economic growth. To sustain this progress, our initiative recognizes that we must prioritize a balanced energy strategy that simultaneously ensures energy security, safety, reliability, affordability, and cleanliness. Today, we are joined by global business leaders who navigate this challenge daily. We are excited to hear their perspectives on the future of energy. Now, please join me in welcoming Geoffrey Garrett, the Dean of the Marshall School of Business, who will offer some introductory remarks. And then our first panel will follow immediately after. Dean Garrett.
Good morning, everybody. I have to smile when Shon said welcome to the students this morning. I don't think 8 o'clock exists in most student days, but are there any intrepid students out there in the audience? Hey, way to go! That's so impressive. I'm really pleased to be here today because this is really the culminating high point of the first year of our Business of Energy Transition Initiative. And the quality, as I think you all know, the quality of the program today is just extraordinary. So I want to thank everybody who's made the enormous effort to be here. We really appreciate it. Let me also underscore what Shon said with respect to the vision of some people whose financial support made this event possible and the initiative possible. So Ray Zage is here. Darpin, did I see you this morning? I can't. Hey, thank you. Thanks to you both. And you two have got to get to know each other, I think, today a little bit. I know you'll see eye to eye on lots of issues. When we were thinking about this initiative, probably a couple of years ago, the motivating assumption was the one that Shon outlined, which is that we know the energy challenges, the energy transition challenges in the world are immense. And, we get to, I don't know what number COP we're up to now. Are we at 29 or 30 or something like that, right? There have been a lot of COPs. Government regulations are very important. But, I think what Shon said is the motivating point for us all, which is it's going to be technological innovation that solves energy challenges, not government regulation. And, we're in LA. I don't know how we're supposed to think about these things these days, but I'm sure many of you have read the Elon Musk biography about sort of the birth of Tesla. And, let's say, I don't know whether we're going to replace the internal combustion engine with electric vehicles anytime soon, or maybe anytime in the US. But if it happens, it won't happen because of regulation out of Washington or Sacramento. That wasn't what motivated Tesla in the beginning. So I think that's just one example of technological change. The other one, if we go on the carbon side, and maybe this is a transition for me now to a brief history of the last 10 years or so, 15 years. I mean, you look at the conversations then and now about the US's energy dependence and the quest for energy independence. And it was the fracking revolution that transformed everything in the United States. I'm always trying to find interesting graphs on what's going on in the world. And, the fact that the US, so there are experts in the room, so I'll probably get some of the facts a little bit wrong, but the US is either the largest producer or the largest exporter of both oil and natural gas today. And that just wasn't the case in 2010. And the change happened because of technological innovation, again, not because of government. But when you look at the rise of carbon energy independence in the United States, the other thing that obviously has been happening at the same time is the rise of investment in alternative energy sources in the US. And I think The Economist this week had a really nice graph that showed, if you take, I don't know, maybe 2010 or 2012 as your base year, US fossil fuel production has doubled in that, has increased by 30% in that period, but investment in alternative energies has more than doubled, right? And so it's not either or, it's both and when it comes to energy transition, which was why we were very insistent in the creation of the program to call it a transition, because that's what it's got to be. I know you all know that, but it's true for us. So I get to, I don't know where I'm up to now, maybe 2018, 2020, something like that. The story of this decade for me, where energy is concerned, is the rise, or at least the rising awareness of China's dominance in alternative energy supply chains and production. I think we all know that story now, or increasingly knowing it, but it's quite remarkable. Again, you're all experts, so please give me a little latitude if I get the numbers right or wrong. But on most of the indicators that I look at in alternative energy, so it could be solar panel production, it could be now the rise of electric vehicles, it could be the green supply chain. China's up at like 80% of global production of any of those things, which is just amazing. And of course, we could discuss why China did that, but it's now a reality, and a reality that we need to respond to. So going very present, my biggest worry for this year is that the electric vehicles debate in Europe is going to blow up. The US obviously already has decided that we won't have Chinese electric vehicles in this country. Whether there's a backdoor through Mexico is a very big issue going forward. But if Europe decides to put 50% plus tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, that's going to be enormous, and I suspect an enormous negative for the European economy, at least in the short term, and particularly in Germany. I've been following this stuff. I don't know why I'm so into electric vehicles. I do own 2 of them, but I didn't know that Volkswagen has never closed a plant in the history of the company in almost 100 years. And they're now, their market share in China has halved in the last 5 years, and they're talking about closing plants in China. So I suspect that certainly for Germany, but for Europe and for China relations, with the US being a very heavy player, this is going to be a monumentally consequential year or couple of years. And again, it's all about energy transition. So I think this is a spectacularly high-quality, high-powered conference. I just want to underline how important this initiative is and how prescient Ray and Darpan were in pushing us and supporting us to create this initiative at Marshall. We know the business school doesn't sit alone in the university, so I actually think Shon and I have talked about this. I think it's great that we have a more technology-oriented energy transition center in the engineering school at USC, a school with which we collaborate very closely on lots of dimensions. But the business side really matters, again, because for me, the bottom line is innovation. And, we always have this question, what does innovation mean? It becomes a bit of a cliche. But I think the definition for me that works of innovation is about turning ideas into outcomes. And you're all in that business. So it's just a real honor for me to be here this morning to welcome you to USC. We're having weird weather in Southern California. It's normally not this gray at this time of the year, but there's this magic as the fog recedes in LA. By the time you have lunch here, it'll be beautiful and sunny, and then maybe it'll be too hot and people will have to take their ties off. But welcome to USC, welcome to the Marshall School, welcome to LA. It's fantastic to have you all here. Let the festivities begin. Thank you.